Hi, Pan Number One. Welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're going to be taking a look into who it is that might be spiritually attacking you guys. Now, I'm not making this reading to invoke any forms of fear, Pan Number One. The intention behind this reading is to gain an awareness of our alignments and what it might be that we're attracting in, based on what it is that we are being guided to strengthen within ourselves spiritually. We attract people in, or spiritual attacks in, to reflect to us what it is that we have to work on or develop next within things like our self-protection, our self-awareness, our boundaries. So if you guys chose pile number one, this reading is going to be for you. Guides, guardians, universe, energies, and service of the highest and greatest good. I'm seeing a lot of Celtic background. I'm seeing paganism. I'm seeing Irish, or like, I'm also seeing like Scottish. I'm seeing nature worship mainly. Okay. So you guys could also be on my side of the world. You guys could even associate yourselves to ancient cultures. You have long bloodlines like that stretch back into ancient times, ancient ways, or ancient practices. Okay, that's interesting. So that's just something I need to know about you. Something that some of you guys, if you practice in runes, bone divination, or if you practice in mancy in any sort of way, you're being attacked in the spiritual realm by entities that were against paganism. Do you have ethical religious ancestors, or are you living in a space that kind of goes against like your knowledge, your background, or your authenticity? I don't know. There's something here where it's like you're battling ancestral karma, and that's what's welcoming in spiritual attack. It's to do with differing beliefs and views. If you're wanting to share divination wisdom, you're being called to share it in the right places with the right people, if that makes sense. Like, don't go sharing esoteric knowledge with, say, for example, someone who is completely full-blown religious, because of course it goes against their beliefs. So there's going to be an instant barrier. If you're going to go in to people like that, you're going to want to speak from an open view, from pure opinion, from personal experience, without force. Giving people the opportunity to choose to listen is what's going to protect your energy. Okay, for others of you, who is it that is attacking those who have come to view pile number one spiritually? So the card that came out here, fell on the floor, is the renewal card. Funny that this came out, because this was a card that came out before I hit record, when I released the energy that was in the card prior to now. So what you'll be finding is this could be family members or people who have been in the same focus or field as you when it comes to work. So let's start off with your family members. This is cousins, siblings, aunties, uncles, extended family. This isn't your immediate family, but on watches or over people who have overwatched you growing up or going through certain growth cycles. People that are sending you spiritual attacks within your family are people who you haven't spent a lot of time around, but they've heard like things that you've gone through in the past. These are people who are probably spiritually attacking you through gossip amongst one another, through onlooking misunderstandings, preconceived notions, or judgments, with the raccoon being here in the background. These people are judging your growth process, and they're trying to kind of hold you attached to a past version of yourself that they either knew or that they assumed of you. For others of you, this could be like people such as your friends that you have outgrown, or people that you were once close to within your work field, such as your work business partners or project partners from the past. Yes. People that I would say you've recently outgrown and moved on from, at least in the past 2 to 3 years. People that you know are still kind of wavering in your space and keeping an eye on you or talking about you, or have common like connections to you within your social circles. These are people who are hearing about you and also overwatching you, but they're more so hearing about you through either competition, or like a promotion, or like, say for example, if you have a lot of the same friends or connections, these people are hearing about you and your growth and the road that you've chosen to take. If this is about like business, say for example, if you're in real estate, for a random example, which you quite could be, but if you're in like real estate, you've like put up a new for sale sign and your face is on the sign, and there are like associates driving past and identifying the sign, and then going back to people that you've worked with and talking about how they saw you like post up a new house recently, or you undertook a new project within your craft or within your career, and they're talking about this. So yeah, I don't know. People are also, this is like extended people that you could probably class as like overwatchers on social platforms. These aren't really intentional spiritual attacks, so they're not done with malicious intent. It's more being done through witness, gossip, and assumption. So if you've been feeling like a little bit more critical of yourself, this is how you could be internalizing the energy that's being directed to you via telepathy and clairsentience. You will adopt certain thought forms of yourself, or certain ways of criticizing yourself, and the thing here is, through self-criticism, you're pushing yourself further away from the true understanding of how you can be using what you're aware of in the best possible way, and you're building a lot of misunderstandings about yourself around what it is that you've been critiquing. It's the energy that you're picking up via clairsentience. The telepathy thing as well, with your ways of thinking, you will find that when you are grounded in your own self-awareness, you will notice that you are very driven to create, to discover, to get to underlying truths. But when you are not grounded in your own self-identity, you will pick up on self-misconceptions, misunderstandings, fears of self, fears of ridicule. You'll also pick up over criticism over the self and internalize it in ways that isolate you from you expressing or embodying the truth of yourself and allowing that to come through you. You see what I'm saying here? You guys have been learning the difference between what energy belongs to you and what energy has been programmed or conditioned within you, and what energy is being projected onto you from others. You creating this differentiation is helping you to create the boundaries needed within your own self-understanding, to make sure that you are able to facilitate energy in well ways that are healthy for you, you know what I'm saying, and ways that you deem appropriate when delivering or self-expressing to others outside of you. So for example, you could also come from a religious background. For just some of you, if your family members are really highly religious, I see as though you guys have kind of broken off from the religion and moved more into spirituality or the concept of wellness. This could be explored through psychology. This could also be explored through physical health and well-being, such as like, what would be dietaries, and I don't know, some of you might even study food really, really closely. I don't know, there's something here where you guys have broken off from a big difference of how it is that you used to be, and the people that are kind of in that way of still being are watching over what it is that you're doing, and kind of like, you know, behind the scenes to themselves, and you could be picking up on this and feeling it and then taking it out on yourself because you're personalizing the energy when it doesn't belong to you. It's only because you're not consciously aware or rejecting you're not consciously rejecting that energy. Instead, you're becoming aware of it, and you've internalized it to become aware of it, to then personalize it and adopt it. Don't do that. I don't think you need to. I mean, there is enlightenment that comes from that, because you learn different levels of how that energy is associated or working with you when it's around you, which only in turn leads you back to the beginning anyway of mastery over that energy, because going through that process teaches you an enlightenment as it is, a full understanding. Let's go ahead and just take a little bit more of a look into who it is that might be spiritually attacking you guys. You guys could actually be on land where there once was like war or like battles. If you are, just know that there is still like an energetic war taking place around you. So you're picking up on negative energy. Some people will understand it as like being on top of like a negative fault line. It's not, it's got nothing to do with the earth's grids. It's all to do with the land that you're on. There was a lot of like, I don't know, war when it came to like, oh, I'm getting scared talking about it. Ugh, I don't like the energy. Yeah, there was like, there could have been like religious wars on the land that you live on, or like very big cultural differences that then sparked war. This is still kind of taking place around you, not to the degree of what it was, of course, because with time the energy dies off. But this time was so intense in energy that it probably imprinted into the land, and over time it's lessened itself. But you could experience this through like being in a very racist place, political problems, a lot of like cultural indifferences, religious indifferences. You'll be very, very sensitive to indifference from love, and you'll probably be finding yourself wanting to bridge the indifferences that you find around you, but that's just a part of the spiritual attack. It's not on you, it's not personal, it's the karma. So yeah, if you guys see like a lot of like random arguments take place on your block or in your like, I don't know, state, or like stuff like that, it's to do with the land and the karma imprint. People like you come as a beacon in spaces like that because you lead by example through your own self-awareness and own self-development. Goodness is contagious, remember that, just as negativity is contagious. Anyway, so other people that might be spiritually attacking you, this is people who are spiritually attacking your capability of creativity. These are people who are sitting behind the scenes doing nothing and wondering why you're achieving success or progress. And it's because you're asserting your efforts into the right or most appropriate places that are helping to lead you towards achievement of what it is that you've been working most hard on and for the longest now. Because we have all spring cards here, which talks about new beginnings, new life. Because of course during spring, you know, it's when all the babies, all the fur babies come to life. But yeah, these are people who are very intellectual, very rigid in their ways, or very narrow-minded. These are people who are very stubborn and could be very closed off to the idea of better living, better being, better creating. And they do it on purpose. They set intellectual blocks for you on purpose to try and humble you down with the crystal it was that you chose, and we'll touch on that shortly. But yeah, these are people who are very, very rigid. But please understand that when these undiplomatic people come along to challenge you through intellect, it's teaching you information as it is, which is actually working in your favor depending on how you choose to look at it. People who come with challenging testimony towards you, part number one, they're helping you to explore the depth of the truth that you believe to be as true. And this helps you to prove or disprove to self one's understanding. And when you have different views, you learn how to look at a specific focus in many different ways, which teaches you how to translate information in ways that are most digestible, most acceptable, and in ways that help talk to people rather than to tell people. You know, when you have wisdom, the wise don't tell you. I mean, they might tell you, but it's always presented in a way of a choice. I think this is something that you're learning the difference between as well, which is going to help strengthen your energy from whoever is projecting onto you their intellectual views, trying to box in your perspective of life. Don't allow people to box in your perspective of life, because that is the limitation. The only limitations that exist is built within the mind. And that's what these people are ruled by, that a lot of people will try and pull you into the cycle of operating through. Don't allow yourself to be that way, and instead assert yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone, but asserting yourself means simply saying no. I am the way that I am for a reason, and you either respect that or you leave, which is also another form of respect in itself. Walking away from problem is a form of self-respect, or a sign of respect from others, and that's something else that you're also internalizing from what I see here with the gazelle and also the lizard totem. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look into the crystal that you guys chose at the beginning of the reading. This is representing your guys' current position and what makes you vulnerable to spiritual attacks. So we have number 26 here. So you guys, I would say with number 26, you guys come with a greater purpose, or you have very invested meaning to assisting either a consciousness shift or assisting the earth when it comes to like better mental healing or nurturing in some way, shape, or form. 2 moments. Sorry guys, I needed to cough. You guys are still holding back a lot of the truth of what it is that you're wanting to actually achieve for yourself. Aim big is what this says. Because the thing is, you've been limiting yourself, which has been welcoming in imposed limitations from others. Does that make sense? Because you're convincing yourself out of your true potential, and because you've been ignoring the cycle of you implementing this on yourself, you're attracting it in with other people outside of you. You also think, at a subconscious level, if you were to reflect pile number 1, you would find that your subconscious mind is programmed into your subconscious mind is saying that you are much more than what you have been embodiment of, and you are on a road to self-discovering that. But the problem is, you keep talking yourself down, which is welcoming in the like aftermath effect of things like telepathic and clairsentient spiritual attack through gossip, assumption, and also witnessing. So this is asking you to strengthen your assistance to self, strengthen your nurture of self, and if I could suggest, maybe trying to actively change your inner dialogue. Say, for example, if you've been having negative thoughts coming up, whether it's projected or self accumulated, like the awareness of it, it doesn't really matter. When these negative or these critiques that are far too mean for yourself come up, try and challenge them by 3. 1 negative thought, 3 positive thoughts around the same focus. Try and flip it around. Even if it feels delulu to you at the time, the delulu will help you to shift the energy, because the density of your thought behind what it is that you're trying to focus on is too heavy, and it's bringing you or weighing you down from your ability to progress from what this energy is saying. Because this is more like a crystal that's all about the cosmic evolution of self, the understanding of the universal laws, the way it is that we internalize our meaning, our purpose, and our connection to the elements. This is also raising in consciousness and recognizing how we are wellness. We're all measured by wellness. You know what I'm saying? And wellness is subjective or unique to the individual's needs, especially when they are living in unique ways to the authentic self. Their needs are going to be different. So people can't tell you how to be or who to be, and you come to this realization that, and it becomes unshakable within you, because you get so clear with yourself that nothing outside has the power to manipulate you out of your own self-knowing. It can invite you to contemplate, reanalyze, and reprioritize even that is commanded by the power of the mind. And this is what you've been reclaiming. This is also what has allowed these spiritual feelings of like intrusive thoughts. It's coming in as intrusive thoughts, and also the over calculation of information. You'll find, pile number one, that a lot of the answers you're seeking, you're asking questions in very complex ways and expecting complex answers, but no, the most complex questions have actually the most simple of answers, and that's what might be throwing your thought processes off, which is affecting your telepathy. You're energetically sensitive as it is, so being aware of how it is that people operate and mind around you will help you to become aware of your own thought processes, and then what it is that you're picking up in thought processes of other people, either through energy or the underlying programming that is expressed through expression of the people around you. Yeah, so how is it that you guys can start to protect your energy a bit better? I just want a clarification, even though we've had Spirit provide us some solutions to this energy. Because the thing is, spell work or like spiritual attacks only have power over you when you don't have the awareness of how it is being felt within you or processed within you. You see, as soon as you become aware of it, you heal that space within your aura, which has allowed that energy to enter your space as it is. When you become aware of things, you become consciously in command. That is the power of the third eye. So we have the temple of the carnelian entering the fierce belly of the Sekhmet. So this is pretty much saying you're going to want to get back in touch with yourself, your own self-discipline, your own self-awareness. In tarot, you take a look at the strength card. This is quite similar. What it talks about is becoming aware of yourself, what makes you who it is that you are, stepping into your strengths while being aware of your deficits, and then working on your deficits through your strengths, which helps raise your deficits into a strength as it is. You guys have been becoming much more self-aware, which is helping you to ascend, and the light that is kind of being brought into your life is what's protecting you from any outsourced energies while you are on the road to ascension, with the chariot of ascension being here. This is all just clarifying pretty much what I've said, and I don't want to keep you longer than what I need to, pile number one, you know. So what is it that you can look forward to moving into your future? From source, please. Additional message from source for those who have chosen pile number one. We have the Dragling Guardian or Garden. I'm blind. I should stop. I need to get glasses again, pile number one. But it also says a new world is being born, number 45. So yeah, you guys are bringing closure and conclusions to a way of once being, tying up loose ends, and you're going to find yourself stepping into a new life. You have a mighty shield, 38, with becoming aware of yourself and moving through your self-growth processes, taking ownership over where it was that you were and stepping into the new versions of self that you're discovering yourself to be. You're naturally protecting yourself. With this coming back out again, I'm just splitting the deck. So yeah, there's nothing else really here. You guys are very protected. Spirit wants you to know that you're raising an energy, so the vibrations around you are naturally lifting. You'll find moving through into the third month, people who come to face you, you're going to have less problems. You're going to feel less judged and less watched or monitored. Pile number one. Yeah, this is because your energy is lifted in density, so the vibration is much lighter, which is helping people to feel much more relaxed, either by watching you through your company or through what it is that you are recreating. Those are messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and until next time. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So we're going to take a look at who it is that might be energetically or spiritually attacking you guys. So I'm going to approach your spirit just a little bit different to how it was that I approached pile number one. So if you guys chose the crystal of the Apatite or pile number two, this reading is going to be for you. So we're going to channel these messages, and instantly what I'm hearing is acceptance, and it's coming through the word blue. I'm hearing the word acceptance, and it's been shown to me through the color blue. There we go. So you guys are very clairvoyant slash clairaudient. You're very sensitive to sound, pitch, vibrations. You could hear hummings, very high vibration. When you'll find when you're asking yourself questions, if you're hearing high vibration, it's confirmation. If you're hearing low vibration and it's coming through this the left ear, it's a no. You're a natural pendulum, pile number 2, but it's coming through your senses. So you also envision a lot of what it is that you think. Your inner dialogue speaks to you through what it is that you see or what catches your attention outside of you, and your spirit guides want you to know this, or like the energy is wanting you guys to know this. I'm burning a white candle for those of you that are here and need to know this. If you perform candle magic against the will of other people, which I really feel is not the case for the majority of you, but there is 1 or 2 of you who have refused to accept something, and some of you guys have had like candle magic. Either for those of you who have performed candle magic, we'll start here. Sorry, the energy is combative. So I think you guys are very good at sending back energy to people, like people who spellcast on you. You're very good at picking up on these things and then like sending it back or reverting it to be transmuted. But for those of you who cast magic, motivated by like denial or like an acceptance, be careful. Be careful, because there's someone who you might have spellcasted against who already knows, and it's not working. They do things like protection spells. They are not an identifying witch, they are a witch doctor. So if you're spellcasted against someone, I would probably undo the intention and send healing and love if that is you. But otherwise, for others of you, the way that you guys are being spiritually attacked is through candle magic outside of you. It's not really working because you guys are much more higher in vibration. You're much more self-reflective and much more meditative by the Apatite card being here. And this is a card that tells me that you guys are quite accepting individuals as it is. You guys might actually live in the 3rd eye chakra, the root chakra, or find yourself dominant in the heart chakra. You guys are very good at seeing life lessons or taking life experiences, the good, the bad, and everything in between, and using it in ways of goodness. Which makes your energetic shield actually quite strong. You're very pure in energy. You know what I'm saying here? You're very good at bringing complete endings to things that don't work as well, and you're good at removing yourself from like situation groups or companies, contracts, or like commitments or devotions that no longer authentically align with you. You're very good at going with the flow of life. You know what I'm saying here? So I would say that, yeah, you've had to do a lot of work of learning to let go of what is outworn in your life, outdated in your life, what has been programmed in you, and what has been like, again, projected on you, but it wasn't like an innate belief or an innate feeling. It was something like knowledge that you were provided with that proved itself to be helpful at times, but it wasn't like complete truth. Please be aware that the things that you were taught are helpful depending on life circumstance and situations, but it doesn't have to be an innate belief within you. This is stuff that you have been working through, that you will find has been manifesting for you in like your day-to-day life for quite some time. Like, you'll have people who manifest a lot to challenge your thought forms, your belief systems, and who it is that you say you are as a person. So I'd say you guys could have experienced a lot of narcissists in your like past romantic relationships, or even like in your family connections. You could have experienced a lot of hard or awful things when it came to what love should have been and what people portrayed love to be. So you accepted the reality of things, that not everything is rainbows. Not everything is like amazeballs. You know what I'm saying? Though you can find good in the bad. And this is something that you've you guys have learned to develop within yourself, is what I just heard. Let me see. Who's my pile number twos? Players, guides, guardians, and universe in service of their highest and greatest good. We have the turtle totem. Yeah, you guys are very much on a spiritual growth process or spiritual path. You guys have done a lot of self-work, and you guys, I just heard, worked really hard to gain self-trust again. I feel like you had a lot of untrustworthy people around you, and that like damaged your own self-trust to accept like company or love offers from other people. Like you started to distrust yourself or your craft because of the types of experiences you had. But I think with time and self-healing, you changed that perspective and you learned how these relationships have served your highest good, because it helped you to connect with your authentic self. And in a way, going through the suffering actually helped you to learn to trust yourself, but in a different way than what you once had. This also helped to connect you deeper with your own grace, your own kindness, your own compassion. It taught you what it meant to look out for red flags within other people, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is what makes you susceptible to spiritual attack. It's your genuine happiness and authenticity, the way it is that you simplify your life and the way it is that you simplify yourself through your love and compassion and your grace. You're someone who is very, very beautiful as well, so you might get a lot of haters, like of the same sex. Ladies, you are beautiful. You really are. You might not feel that way, or you might not always think that way, but people outside of you always see you as someone who is really beautiful, very cuddly, very warm, very welcoming. But they also see you as someone who is like rare to be around, because both of these totems are fleeting energies. So yeah, people don't really get super, super close with you, but from what your reputation is, people know you as kind, caring. You also have a very soft or beautiful gaze, is what I just heard, pile number two, with the deer totem being here, and also the otter, because both of their eyes are really kind of big. They're round. You guys might have doe eyes as well. Now, some of you guys, what's making you susceptible to spiritual attack is that you like fawn away, or you might have had to work through a lot of processes of fawning, and I'm not actually exactly sure what that is, but I think it's a reference you guys can study or look into on Google if you want to or feel drawn or called to. But what I'm actually getting is like you guys like sink inside of yourself when there are like competitive people, or like you pull yourself away when other people become dominant. You guys are submissive, you guys are sensitive, you guys are fine with not always being the center of attention. If anything, I think you guys are actually very humble and you're very grounded in your own self. Like you're happy with what it is that you have and where it is that you are in life. You don't need lots of attention. You don't need to be surrounded by lots of people. You're happy with the company it is that you have, and you're happy with genuine love that you have in your life. Through your own self-love processes, you've learned what appropriate love looks like, feels like, and is given like. You know what I'm saying? And when I say appropriate, I mean healthy. I mean genuine. So yeah, overall, I don't see you guys being that susceptible to spiritual attack, but if you are, a lot of it's going to come through envy and jealousy of how it is that you look, how genuine you are when you share your compassion and your kindness, and you might find yourself like spiritually attacked by judgment from others, because you are so open to understanding different perspectives. You are kind to the cruel hearted, and you still give grace to those that probably don't deserve it. And a lot of the people that are around you are lower vibration to you, and they don't understand how you can gift that much grace or understanding or like leeway to certain types of people. Say for example, you could be someone who's like, love and light to everything and everyone, but at the same time you're still grounded in the reality that that isn't always supported, and it's a choice by the individual. You allow individuals to reveal themselves and choose who it is that they want to be, but you do this in ways that is very authentic and very trustworthy without you trying to. You're actually very productive within your own ways of supporting people. Like, you create results within for people. If you're someone like a mentor or a guide, or you work with things like emotional discomforts, you could be seen as a counselor, or just a very sensitive and compassionate individual. People will attack you for that spiritually, and it's through the power of judgment or insult for how it is that you look. It will be like if people who are jealous of how you look will give shallow insults of, like, I don't know, your hair is something or other, you know, silly little insults that don't even matter because meh, you know. So let's go ahead and take a little deeper look into who it is that could be spiritually attacking you. So it's people who okay, I'm getting a few different scenarios. So this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Pile number 2. But for some of you, this is someone who's left you an inheritance, or someone who pays you like a boss, someone you work for. Someone who's had to do a lot of discipline around their own greed. This could even be someone who supplies you with resources or like work opportunities. They don't like paying you. For example, if you have a service-based craft, they don't like paying you for what it is that you can provide to people outside of you. For others of you, this is people who are hating on your business, on how focused you are on creating results and achievements. This is coming from your community or social circles. This could even come through judgments of people on social media. They're seeing your judgment, they're seeing your success and they're judging it. Like, why did they get that? Or, you know, she bought a new dress the other day. Where is she getting that money from? Like, what is she doing? You know, it's those sorts of judgments. Or like, for example, if you're someone who's focused on like a spiritual craft, like perhaps you started up a new promotion recently, and other people outside of you who are focused in the same line of work, they've seen your promotions being like sponsored or something, and they're like, why are they being sponsored? Or why do they get adverts? Or like, why are they being recommended? Or like, you know, why are people supporting them and not me? That's the sort of energy that people are using to spiritually attack you. It's the reason why they're becoming triggered by you, pile number 2, has nothing to do with you, with the garden and the gate coming out here. This is more so they have identified with how they are keeping themselves held back, and they're seeing you push through your own self-imposed limitations or your own fears or your own like intimidations, and they see that as a lot of courage and a lot of bravery and a lot of strength, and they don't have the ability to step into that for themselves, so they're judging you for it. Where if they were honest with themselves, they would notice how they are manifesting exactly where it is that they need to be, and they are where it is that they need to be based on how it is that they're aligned and perceiving. Because if they were to progress with how it is that they are aligned to do what you're doing, it would crumble instantly and hurt them more than what it would them becoming stagnant and grounded in their own self-knowing of how it is that they operate. This is what helps them to identify what they need to heal to then get where you are. So if anything, you're a living example of where other people want to be and what it is that other people are wanting to achieve based on the generalized message of all the situations that I was shown before I started channeling the message. So for others of you, this could also be like your boss at your job. It's a generalized spiritual attack. They don't want to be paying their workers right now. It's because they're running out of like resources and it's scaring them. So if your business has been slow and you're working like an ethical job and things aren't right in the job, it's because of the resources, like financial resources are dwindling in like the boss's security isn't really secure. So he's kind of like judging his workers You might actually witness a couple of people being laid off of work, or the boss become more stricter. If this is the case, I don't see you guys being at the protocol of attention. I really don't. I just see you guys being witness. It's the boss judging everyone, seeing who needs to be let go of, because if they don't have the funds to be like investing in people who aren't there to do the job right. You know, so if you're working hard, I wouldn't worry about it if you guys are working in a job where you're employed. You're actually getting a lot of positive returns from energy from people that you've worked with in the past, that you've guided and taught understanding to. So there's nothing really here to worry about, and there's not really people around you that have negative intentions towards you. It's more like judgments that you're feeling as spiritual attacks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and a lot of this is welcomed in through your own self-expression. You guys share a lot of your ideas, your divine understandings, channeled messages, spiritual guidance, and you show the results of what it is that you take in or you internalize, or you're the type of people to practice what you preach, and it gets you to where it is that other people don't know how to get. And it puts you in a position of being able to appreciate your life and your skill sets and your talents and your abilities, and this is how other people see you. This is how other people understand you. And this is why other people judge you. And then they try to be like you. Pile number 2. And they don't understand that all they need to do is embrace their raw, authentic selves, or at least work on working towards understanding themselves so that they can better themselves and become that, to then recreate that. And they see you doing it, and you're their trigger to notice that they're not doing that, but they're taking it out on you rather than, you know, accepting what it is that they do. And that's what holds them back from being able to leave their comforts or being able to grow in their life. Pile number 2, you know. So let's go ahead and take a look at the additional message from source for pile number 2, please, about who it is that's spiritually attacking them. Okay. So we have abundance of sloths coming out here. We have goddess of 10,000 names, and then we have the magic and ritual. So this is witch. This is people who are not wishing the best on your success or achievement or progress. Pile number 2, don't even worry about it, because what this is saying is, as long as you focus on what is meaningful to you and what is truthful to you, you're going to find yourself moving into what is meant for you anyway, regardless of what anyone has to say, what anyone tries to do, or what anyone wants for you to impose onto you. It's not going to work, because you're focusing on your authentic self. You're self-aware. You know your deficits. You know your strengths. And this is what actually keeps you, you know, protected with life restored being here. This is what keeps you free of obstruction that has been imposed from other people with the high priestess being here. Keep more information to yourself. Keep more information to yourself. This is what's going to help empower you. It's also going to stabilize you in what it is that you're trying to build. The people that you've been sharing information with don't mean the best for you. So that's a natural human instinct and a natural process of maturing. So I would say allow your results to speak for you. You'll feel much more secure and a lot less of reason to be hyper focused on the sorts of connections you've had in your life or that you've accepted in your life. This is more of a time where you're learning to get closer to yourself, with the Rattle of Isis being here. This is you getting closer to yourself and revealing your own, it's disillusionment of self, really. Stay true and be in your power. It's just repeating what I'm saying here, yeah. You're releasing yourself from company, and you're also recognizing how certain influences had more of an impact on you than what you had first realized. You're getting clear with those things and you're correcting them. You've done the shadow work, you're well balanced, and there's nothing outside of you that can harm you or hurt you, especially when it comes to your spirituality. You believe in what you believe in for a reason. and you're going to grow through that until you either outgrow it or you master it and choose to move on to something new. Pile number 2, you grounding into this choice is what is protecting you from any spiritual attacks that might be projected your way, regardless of who it is. So those are the messages I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this has come a positive service to you, and with all that being said, until next time. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. Thank you guys so much for being here today. So if you guys chose pile number 3, this is really interesting to me, and this came through completely different to the first 2 piles. So it's telling me, now, how can I introduce this? It's telling me that you guys are heart retrievers. You guys speak to the emotion of the individual and you touch the heart of the individual. You're very good at understanding the pains of individuals, what hurts, why it hurts. And I believe this is because you guys have come from particular pasts that were quite hard, rough, struggled. You've been in dark places of life that other people, or not many people, experience, and this has taught you specific sorts of wisdom that helps you to relate to certain people. You guys are very genuine within your own self, within your own understandings. You know what I'm saying? You're just genuine people, and this creates a vibration that is very, very high. So pile number 3, please hear me when I say this to you. There is nothing that you do that is wrong. Okay? If you are approaching life and people with genuinity and you're wondering why it's going to pose, or like people have problems with you, it's because of how pure and genuine you are. Those with unclean or tainted spirit will react to a pure, genuine soul. And that's what's leaving you open and vulnerable to spiritual attack, which is why you experience so much, like, it's coming through. What I heard was like rebuttal. I don't know what that means. Maybe there's a lot of combative sorts of people who come to like argue with you, argue points with you, or understandings with you. But you're very good at opening up the perspective of the individual's mind based on the crystal that you guys chose. Now, I also want to say, with this crystal being here, we have number 45. Sorry guys, I need to get new glasses. Sorry if you see me like trying to see the words, that's why. So yeah, you guys are very selfless with your compassion, I want to say. And once again, your vibration is very high, so it's an energy that most people don't get to experience very often, and it makes you susceptible to people becoming obsessive. I want to say addicted to your energy. People fall in love with you, or people place you on pedestals, pile number 3. And this is quite natural for people who have energy alignments like yourself. You are intoxicating. You are the embodiment of an intoxicating individual because of how rare, individualistic, how original, and how dedicated you are, and what sort of path you came from in the past. I'm not trying to perfect my words, by the way, to compliment you. I mean it quite literally. I mean it very literally when I say it. You don't have to be anyone perfect. If anything, it's not about perfection, and it's not about anything to do with like prestige or social status. It's all about your genuinity to self. When you are genuine to yourself, and you are genuine in how it is that you present yourself to the world around you, you become intoxicating, magnetic, and people will fall in love with you, which makes you susceptible to spiritual attack by other people, such as like attraction, lust, such as obsession. Once again, toxic obsession. People get nervous around you because of how much they have idealized you. So I don't know, I would say that you've got a lot of simps, a lot of fans, and a lot of people will get very butthurt when it comes to interactions with you, pile number 3. And that is another thing that I would say makes you susceptible to spiritual attack, with number 45 being here. A lot of people romanticize their idea of you or interactions with you, and they see you as someone who is very stable, very connected. You could be a really good parent, or like people would want you to be a parent to their children. You know what I'm saying? People can, when they get close to you, they can see you being like the trophy wife, or like hero husband. You know what I'm saying? And that makes you susceptible to spiritual attack once again, because once again, you are so rare and original and genuine that people over idealize you instead of accepting you as you are for who it is that you are as you present yourself, and then they get attached to certain hopes and dreams and idealizations because they fall in love with the version of you that they want you to be rather than who it is that you are. The way that it spiritually attacks you is that you experience a lot of experiences of unrequited love, or people make you seem crazy when you're in situations, and it's because they once again adopt an idealized version of you rather than accepting you for what you are and who you are and where it is that you're at and where it is that you want to go. So yeah, I think you guys will cop a lot of blame in life. That is a way that a lot of people would spiritually attack you. It comes through blame, it comes through projection, and it comes through like lust. People might say that you're overly seductive or overly sensual and whatever, but when really you're not trying to be, you're just yourself. Some people might say that you're really flirtatious when you're not trying to be. You're just very bubbly and very social and very friendly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of friends might have said that they don't like bringing you around their partners because they think that you might want to be with them and stuff like that, when no, you're not. And you shouldn't really have to filter yourself. That's more a reflection of their own trust issues or their own insecurities, and you bring this out a lot in people. So people, you will probably experience a lot of people being jealous of you or blaming you for the reasons of like not getting enough attention or like creating relationship issues. And be for real, if you have created issues, then you have. But for those of you that I'm speaking to, I'm meaning like you don't try to do anything bad by anyone at all, and I can tell that by this crystal here. But you get a lot of blame. It's because you are compassionate, you transform energy, and I would say you take it a lot of the time on the chin, and you brush it off, and you let it go, and you let it be what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at why it is, or who it is, that is spiritually attacking you guys. I'm missing a tarot deck. Okay, that's alright, we'll use this one. I used this one for a previous reading, but that's okay, we can use it again. Alright, so pile number 3, please, guides and guardians. Who is it that is attacking my pile number 2? Oh, wait, what pile are we? We're pile number 3. 2 moments, guys. Sorry, pile number 3, I lost track. So the person or the people that you would probably find yourself being a lot of the time spiritually attacked by are people who are ungrounded, people who feel threatened by their environments or by people around them, people who don't know who it is that they are. I'm looking into my candle right now and just doing a little bit of divinating. You make people kind of face what they don't want to accept within themselves, if I'm honest. Pile number 3, and my candle is like overspilling with wax right now. So yeah, I want to say, I don't know, you reveal to people their own like leaky auras. You reveal people to themselves, really. You make people have to face the truth of themselves, and they don't really like that. So yeah, I would say the people that you get spiritually attacked by quite a bit are people that you reveal insight to, teach self-understanding to, people that you have compassion for a lot of the time. Yeah, you're very good at helping people to understand that they are their problem. Life is not their problem. They are their problem. And I don't know, you make people who don't want to take ownership be accountable for their life circumstance, their situation, or who it is that they find themselves to be. And those are the people that you'll probably suffer a lot of projection from. You know what I'm saying? Because they're in a space of rejection or neglect. Interesting. So who is it that is spiritually attacking my pile number 3s? So yeah, sad people, sad people, negative people, people who have a lot of worry or want to worry, people who are addicted to chaos and confusion, people who are overly analytical as well. Yeah, you confuse a lot of people because you're so forthcoming within your truth that it leaves space for question, and it doesn't leave a lot of space for debate, um, but a lot of question, and it confuses people because it makes them question themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it puts themselves into defense with the kangaroo being here. If you know the kangaroo, you know that it's got a powerful kick, and that's how it gets rid of threats or fights. So what I'd say, that these people kick up a stink when you make them hear the truth of what they don't want to hear, or to see the truth of what they try to reject. And you do this for yourself, so you do this naturally. You know, you're people who take accountability and ownership over your life circumstances and situations, and you inspire this within others. And people who are in rejection of ownership, or in rejection of being the master creator of their own realities, they'll take it out on you and blame you. Why do they do this? Most of all, it's because you assert yourself. It's the way you assert yourself and present information. You appear as very powerful and brave, and it sets people off. You have the ability to talk to many different people, and this also sets people off as well, or triggers people, because they're like, well, you know, you're very well-rounded and you know what you're talking about when you speak. And I don't know, people kind of fear you speaking or talking the truth, so it makes people be cautious around you. You might feel like people are guarded around you, or like avoid you, and they quite sometimes truthfully do. People who aren't supposed to be in your space, or people who are hiding secrets, or have done things, or don't want you to know things, they avoid you because you're very sensitive, and they know that. You're very good at picking up on energy. Even when you're not aware of it, you say things that trigger people, and they're like, how do you know that? And you're not even trying to intentionally touch on anything at all. You just are. So this is why people kind of avoid you. You're a very good parent as well, and it makes other people who are parents and not doing the best that they can kind of judge you and blame you. They see you as trying to be like a show off or something, when you're not showing off. You're just authentically moving. But you trigger people like that because they see that you're like really trying to be a good parent. You're trying to be good at what it is that you do. And a lot of people who sell themselves short see that, become triggered, and blame you or take it out on you, you know. But yeah, once again, we have Princess of Summer: sensitivity, kindness, open-hearted, and experienced. So another thing where you might experience a little spiritual attack, this is for a future or even for the present. If you guys are in a new relationship, or you're attracting in a new relationship, be a little bit more guarded with what you share about your love experiences with your new relationships. This will help to protect your relationship from like intervening forces or jealousy, or like spell casting against your love life. Pile number 3. So additional information that pile number 3 needs to know from source, please, guides, guardians, and universe. Envious. Yeah, people are envious of your spiritual abilities as well, your channeling abilities, or the way it is that you understand and internalize information from the world around you. People around you are also quite envious of, I don't know, your social status, or like how people understand you, or they're envious of the knowledge and experience that you do have. Some might also be envious of your love life, or the way it is, yeah, with the woman holding a heart being here. What you don't know is that you're naturally supported, and there's nothing for you to be worried about. You're naturally protected from these sorts of energies, because once again, you're so immersed in your own life and your own experience. You're in your own lane, so nothing outside of you can move you outside of that. You know what I'm saying? You're protected from outside sources. This is through the energy and also through your own focuses. When you're fully immersed in your own path, pile number 3, it doesn't really matter what's going on other people's roads. You know what I'm saying? Or where other people are going, because you're focused on where you are, where you're going. You're able to avoid any potholes because you're focused. You're looking, you're seeing, you're in your own lane. And people are jealous of this, that you don't become distracted by what other people are up to, and that you just stay focused. You know what I'm saying, pile number 3? So continue doing what you do. Yeah, you guys are walking into adjacent possibilities, so you're going to see new doors opening. All you need to do is stay patient and diligent on the path that you're on. Focus on investing your money into places that you need to, and focus on your healing journey right now. It's moving you into a better place. You're going to feel like you're being rebirthed into a much more supportive place where you feel much more safe and able to utilize your strengths, your talents, and it will welcome in a lot of security. So that's going to heal you most of all. With all that being said, until next time, part number 3, thank you.